it is a great idea, but as it is a great idea, it was also a great failure. And I want to show you my failure and why did I fail and what did I learn out of it. There's a lot of lessons to learn that I learned from this one. So let's start. First of all, I'm using American poplar, and that's, I think, the first mistake I made. The wood is too soft. And I picked it up on especially because it was too soft. And by the way, here I want to show you how I'm using the V shape from roughness to smooth by turning it to in an angle to the side and increasing the speed. Going back to what I said, and it's too soft, and you'll see a little bit later what it created by using a soft wood. A soft wood on this project. So now I'm just designing a little bit the shape of the vase that I want to do. It's going to be a very straightforward vase, nothing special in the shape. And then I'm going to mark all the lines that I want to use a router and route out. And that was actually the reason why I used the American poplar, because it's supposed to be hard and soft, if you understand what I'm saying. And so it will be easier for me to route out a piece out of this one and create the idea of doing the cyborg vase. Step by step, I'm not going to take big chunks off. I'm going to remove a little bit, slowly the chunks with the router, so it's not going to jump and kick back and hurt me or something like that. So I'm doing the lines. I'm dipping the lines down to the amount that I want, and I think that here what I do is I'm creating wells in the corners, so it will look like it got stitches, but also it will be to hold the piece in. I'm using to cover the wood because I'm using a bismuth and it's hot, so I'm using a flexible plywood, and on the sides I'm using epoxy putty so it will not leak out. It's almost fell. Lucky enough I had the space. Otherwise, I'll burn also my fingers. But nothing happened. I didn't burn myself. Everything was all right. Now, bismuth is it's a unique metal. It melts on a very low temperature. And here, what I'm doing is I'm going to drill a hole and I put inside a piece of copper. I'm going to glue it with super glue, a piece of copper pipe. And inside this copper pipe, I'm going to put some red resin, and it looked like a shining eye into this. So the idea of it is that I'm going to create like a cyborg vase, and here I found out the mistake number 2 in my design and in my thinking. That is a major problem, and the problem is that I'm using a piece of that I rimmed out, and I'm putting inside bismuth. Now bismuth, yes, it melts very easy, but it's also very heavy. So what happened is that I've got a quarter of bismuth in the wood. The American poplar is very light, so it will pull and it will vibrate horribly, and that's exactly what happened. It vibrated horribly. The bismuth, when it was hot, it didn't go into all those curves, so I'm going to refill it. And that's what's nice working with bismuth, is that just you melt a little bit more and you put it on, and about 45 minutes to an hour later you can continue working with it. That's the second side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to the shape that I wanted, and now I'm starting to sandpaper, and that was a nightmare, really a nightmare. The wood and the bismuth dust, or you can see the dust, the bismuth becomes a very fine dusty. Lucky enough I've got a mask with filters, and that was another mistake. I used Yorkshire grit trying to revive the wood and revive the metal, and what actually happened was that the powder that comes off the bismuth sipped into the wood, because the wood is very porous. So now I've got a black wood, beautiful bismuth, but very black wood. So we must go back to sandpaper it, going back to the color of the wood. And then I decided I'm going to put cellulite sealer, and I'll try to see if this one will help. And actually it did. Look how beautiful is the bismuth. And now just cleaning it up a little bit, and then it's a just to try, it's a test and error. And I decided to try how does it going to look with the Obishanjus, and it came out beautiful. You can see already now the reflection on the wood. Now I'm going to drill on the inside, and then I'm going to hollow it from the inside. And I was afraid, I had a very suspicious that it can jump out. If I will go too deep and too narrow for the wood, it will pop out from its place. That's why I put tape around it, just for safety. And I put another big piece of tape, and I'm using the support wheels, and hopefully it will not come off. In some places you can see the bismuth, in some places you don't, so it doesn't look so nice. So I decided to change the design, and I decided to paint it inside with black, a matte black, so it will be it will look the same. And what happened was that the matte black in some area came out of in the joints and tinted the wood, so I had to polish it again, and guess what? It flew out. Just came off. I knew, I heard like a bang, and I knew something gone wrong, and I stopped it, and yeah, that was like a minute and a half before I finished. So I hope that you enjoy watching my mistakes and learn something. So don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up or thumbs down, and some comments at the bottom, very important, especially on this one. And I'll see you on my next video. And this one goes into my to-do, one day to-do pile on my shelf.